Howdy folks, and welcome to the Hillbilly Kitchen. Today we're making an emergency stove absolutely free. Now, full disclosure, this is not going to cook Thanksgiving dinner, but during your next power outage, if you don't have any kind of backup cooking or a camp stove, something like that, this will make you a cup of coffee in the morning. It'll heat a can of soup or something like that. And it is a great project for your youth groups, whether they're at church, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Boys and Girls Clubs, whatever, anything like that. Something to just kind of show kids the potential of what's there and show them what they can do. And it's free. What's better than a free kids activity? Even if you don't need it in an emergency, watch this video. Before we get started, I want to take just a minute and ask you to please click like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share it with all your friends, because it would really mean a lot for the channel's growth, and it would mean a lot to me personally. Thank you so very much. Okay, let's get started. All you need is a can, and any can will work. But there's some things to keep in mind. And this is one that I made last night. And what we're going to do is, while we're making our stove today, this one's really ugly, we're going to heat us a cup of water for coffee so you can kind of see that it works. Nothing special here, just my can. And there's a few things that you can use for fuel, and I'll go into that. I have 1 cup of water here, and we're going to heat that. Make sure you don't set your pot down on it too quick there. A lid helps, and I'm just using a regular kitchen pot because we're not camping. We're using this for an emergency. And we have a lot of stuff around here. You know, we'll have spring storms that'll knock down power poles. Sometimes people have accidents and they'll hit them and knock them down with a car or something. Winter snowstorms, a lot of power poles get hit during that, or trees come down on our power lines and take them out. So there's a lot of reasons why your power might go out, and you just want a warm cup of coffee in the morning, like now. But since I have power, I've got mine brewing over here. I'm sorry about my voice. It's ragweed season. And y'all actually requested this, and I kind of wanted to get it up because it's hurricane season right now, which is another reason why power lines come down, and they come down in wide areas during hurricane season. And sometimes it's days and days and days before you get your power back on during hurricanes. Even weeks or months. Like up here, we had Helene hit last year, and it has been almost 1 year since then. And some folks were without power for months after that. So, anyway. And for months, I recommend something a little bit more than this. But clean your can out. This has got some glue on it where the paper was stuck. You really need to clean that off. But like I said, it's early. Because what's going to happen when this heats is it's going to run down and it's going to get on my base. If you are using this inside, you need something fireproof and heat-proof to put it on. Now, you can use a really good raised trivet, you know, the hot things that you sit your hot pots on if you're putting them on your table. You could use a cookie sheet. You could even use another can turned upside down or stack it on top of another can. Try to make sure they interlock because you want it stable. I'm using my cast iron skillet. Now we're going to start, and something you have to have, if you can't get holes, a few small holes around your bottom, or if you're using something for fuel that you're worried about spilling out, once you get your holes punched around the top, that you can see in this one I have holes all around the top, you can use a couple of butter knives like this to kind of make a grate. And that will allow air to circulate, and it will keep your flame going. But if you don't want to use your butter knives, and this is not as stable as just sitting your pot right on the can, what you have to do is, and we're going to do this to start, we're going to punch a couple of holes. What I'm using is just one of the old-fashioned can openers like you would use for condensed milk or whatever. This one, I've had it for an eternity. You can use anything you can punch a hole with. You can use a hammer and a nail. You can use a drill bit and a drill. But we're doing it with what we got. Anything you can punch a hole with. You can even use a really sharp knife, but that's a little bit dangerous, and these can openers are pretty safe, especially if you're going to be doing this with kids. So what I'm going to do is put me some small holes in the bottom, down close to where my fuel is going to be. You can see how big they are. I'm not going all the way in with this, and I'm not going to do a ton of these because we got to have holes around the top too. Oh, it does take just a tiny bit of pressure. So I did 4 holes around the bottom. If you want it pretty, space them evenly. Now I'm going to put holes around my top, and I'm going to do slightly bigger ones around the top. You have to be able to get air into your fuel or it will not burn without air. Now, as far as fuel goes, you could use anything that will burn. Since you're doing it inside, I suggest either 91% alcohol or hand sanitizer, because we're using kitchen pots, and I'm using kind of an old kitchen pot, and it is getting a little bit smoked up, but not bad. But the 91% alcohol or the hand sanitizer will burn with a real blue flame, and they won't smoke your entire house up. So keep that in mind. Now with a can like this, well, that hole's not going to punch. My can's getting bent. We'll try one more over here. Okay, that's good. I got enough holes in there. Just make sure you got some holes. That one would make it even, but like I said, it's not punching. Forget it. Make sure you got some holes, top and bottom, and that will allow air to circulate, and it will allow your fuel to burn. Now also, did mine go out? Daggone it. I didn't put enough fuel in there. I'm not going to have any of this edited out, and I didn't want to put too much in it because there's no way to turn this off. It don't have an on-off valve. And I didn't put enough. I don't want it burning for half of the day when I'm done here. Okay. We're burning again now. So it would boil quicker than what it's going to because I didn't put enough fuel in there. If I'd put enough fuel, it would probably already be boiling. You can see my lid is steamed up here. So put enough fuel, but don't put too much, because that was the other thing I was going to tell you. This don't have an on-off knob. But this is the one that we just made. I kind of recommend the hand sanitizer. Most of us probably have some of it sitting around, but because it's more of a gel. Now, especially burning, it will still slop, but it won't go everywhere like alcohol does. This alcohol, especially if you're using it inside, if you just bump it a little bit and it's on fire and it's burning, it's going to pour everywhere, and wherever it spills is going to burn. That's why you have to have something under it. Yeah, we're still burning. But it's just that simple. I mean, that's all it is. And you can light it with matches or a grill lighter or whatever. And you can see the really blue flame. That's not going to smoke up your house. And it will heat a cup of water to a boil pretty quick if I'd put enough fuel in this one. I'm going to move this over here so you can kind of see the water start to boil. How about that? And you can see this over here burning out. Hopefully it'll burn out. I'm going to set the whole kitchen on fire. But this one will burn if you don't set the pot down and put it out really well, because it has the holes in the bottom and in the top. If you have trouble getting yours to burn, use the butter knives, whatever I did with them. Oh, here they are. And I will show you how to do that. If your holes aren't big enough, or you're not getting enough oxygen through, you just sit the butter knives on there like this. Don't crisscross them because your pot will flop off, but sit them on like that, and that's pretty stable. Like I said, I do not recommend doing this in the house with kids because you got an open flame here, and in the house with kids an open flame is not a good idea. And you have an open flame that you cannot put out. The only way to put this out would be with some kind of tongs or something that you could very gently get a hold of it, put it in your pot, then put the lid on it to suffocate it. Because you're not going to suffocate this. It's got the holes all the way around it, high and low. We've already got some sizzling here, some steam, a lot of steam, some little bubbles, and it would have been boiling if I'd put enough in there to start with. Now I've got so much, like I said, it's going to be burning long after we're done. But for a can of soup or a cup of coffee during a storm, this is a fix. And just about everybody has either hand sanitizer or alcohol. If you've got 3 or 4 little tea candles, this particular can had canned chicken in it. I told y'all when we did the last video, the pasta chicken pot pie stuff, to save your cans, and we would make a stove out of them. Well, that's the chicken can, and it's a little bit bigger around than a regular vegetable can, but you can do this with a regular vegetable can. And I use these because I was going to show you how you could fit about 3 tea candles in them, but I can't find my tea candles. And I didn't buy more because I had some. I don't know what I've done with them, but tea candles are a really good thing to have in an emergency because they do provide light, and you can make a can stove and use the tea candles to heat with. If you're doing this with little kids, I suggest using the tea candles because they're not going to be as bad to slop or spill, and you can blow those out, or you don't want to let kids blow on this to try and put it out. Whether you're using the hand sanitizer or the alcohol, because if they blow hard enough and they slop some out through the little holes that we made, it's going to cause a fire. So take the kids outside, use the tea candles or the hand sanitizer. The alcohol will burn just like this did. I've seen people use steel wool in their stoves if they're using alcohol. And you can do that because the steel wool will stay and you can relight it. You can add more alcohol and relight it, but it keeps your alcohol from slopping. But I was going to show you, I hope that's out, and I spilled it all down in the stove. That's why I'm using my stove. If you have a gas stove in your kitchen, you don't need to worry about this. Huh. I thought the 91% alcohol would actually burn with a bluer flame than the hand sanitizer, but it does not. It burns with a very orange flame. But it will also heat your coffee water or your soup. Got a few more bubbles, a lot more steam. We're still not at a rolling boil, and this will actually heat your water to a rolling boil. Now, while this is cooking, I want to show y'all some stoves that you can get cheap. Would you look at what that hillbilly's done in her kitchen? This here is a stove that I have had for probably 15 years. We used it when we would go motorcycle camping. I carry it in my van. It's starting to kind of come apart here, but this, I want to say I paid about $15 for. Walmart still has one similar to this for $15. That's where I got this one. These cans of fuel are about $10. Or they were. Everything's gone up, so don't hold me to that. But they were about $10. So at Walmart, you can go for around $25. You can get a can of fuel. These cans of fuel will last for a very long time. And you can get an emergency stove that is a little safer than this, and it works a little faster than this. And you can turn it off. I recently purchased this gadget on Amazon. I have not even got a chance to try it yet, but I purchased it for motorcycle camping and for in my van. But it is a pot that fits on these stoves, well, with a lid, so you can heat your water quick, and you definitely want to use a lid. And it has a French press, so if you want to make coffee, you can use regular granulated coffee and French press your coffee. This was $16, and it's a coffee pot and a pot to heat whatever in. And it's stainless steel, so you can clean it out. Now we're starting to get okay, we got bubbles. And that's how long it takes to get a boil, minus the time where my one over here went out. And like I said, you don't want to put a whole lot of extra fuel in it because you can't put it out. And here I still have plenty of fuel, and I have boiling water. It's still burning blue. But you can see our little stove does work, and it boils water. And I'm moving this before I set my house on fire, because now you've seen it work. And I actually purchased this stove because, like I said, this one was breaking. I have not used it yet, but this was $6 on Amazon. And I will share a link to this. It fits the same cans here, these $10 cans that will last a very long time. And it's only this big. And it was $6. So for $16, you can have an emergency stove. 10 for the fuel, 6 for the stove. I'll share the link for the stove. It stores in this little case. You can get a can of fuel and put it in a closet or a cabinet, and with this, and then you've got some way to cook in an emergency. And again, you ain't gonna cook Thanksgiving dinner on this little thing, but in an emergency, it is really nice to have a hot cup of coffee or a hot can of soup or bowl of soup or something hot. And that was a big deal when Helene hit here and people had lost everything. They needed a warm meal, because even something small like soup really, really helps your morale. And a warm cup of coffee on a cold morning when it seems like everything is falling apart, or when everything is falling apart, it really, really helps you start the day in a normal way. And it makes emergencies less of an emergency. All my fires are out, yay. I hope you don't have any fires today, unless you're trying to set one. And I want to leave you with something encouraging, because I know that many of you are grieving over Charlie Kirk. Many of you are very, well, you're afraid, because you're afraid of what's going to happen next. Psalm 46:1 says, God is our refuge and strength, our very present help in trouble. And verse 2 starts with, I will not fear. So no matter what happens, remember that God is your strength, and He will provide you refuge. And don't grieve for Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk has received a martyr's welcome in our Father's kingdom. Grieve for his children who are going to grow up in a broken world without their very strong, brave father. And grieve for his widow who is going to have to raise them without him. Please remember to pray for them. And do not be afraid, because God is our refuge and our strength. And He will get us through this and any natural disaster or other catastrophe that happens to come along. Go through it with Him and fear not. Thank you so very much for joining us in the Hillbilly Kitchen. Thank you for being a part of our family. If you have not already, please don't forget to click like and subscribe before you leave. Share our videos with your friends, and in the comment, let me know what video you want to see next, and we'll try to get it up. this was one you requested. God bless you all, and until next time, remember to put God first.